Do you think companies that have access to private and personal data should have a human rights report? After all, privacy has always been the main concern when it comes to technological advancement. After facing harsh criticism for its handling of privacy and human rights issues in 2021, Facebook, now known as Meta, has just published its first report on human rights. In this video, we'll go over the specifics of Meta's first human rights report, the motivation behind it, and the privacy concerns that could endanger regular people who use social media platforms that share their personal data. But wait, if you're new to this channel, then be sure to hit the subscribe button, because here you will find a dose of everything related to the metaverse and the technologies that come with it. Have you subscribed? Alright, then let's begin. Facebook changed its name to Meta in 2021, and we've surely heard a lot about Mark Zuckerberg's quest to venture into the metaverse. He has also stated that his company would invest about $10 billion into the industry. However, people shouldn't let the fuss around the company's change of name to Meta distract them from the harm it still does. When it comes to utilizing social media platforms, user data privacy has always been the major source of discussion, and Facebook wasn't spared either. Recently, in February of 2021, the company was sued for violating its privacy policy and giving third parties access to the private information of over 87 million US Facebook users. Additionally, it was also charged with monitoring consumers' online activities long after they had signed out of social networking websites. However, Facebook, now known as Meta, did pay $90 million to resolve the privacy dispute. And now, with Facebook's current plans to develop hardware and other technologies for the so-called metaverse, there will be more sensors in people's homes, which will result in the collection of enormous amounts of data. But privacy is just the tip of the iceberg. Facebook has also been called out for doing content filtering in countries like India, Myanmar, and Southeast Asia, fueling political attacks that have caused the nation's havoc. Facebook, however, has developed a report that could resolve these disagreements. How? By releasing the Human Rights Report. And they have done just that. Meta has recently released their first Human Rights Report in July of 2022, and the contents do seem largely self-congratulatory. But what does it say? Well, Meta submitted an annual human rights report that had over 83 pages stating its actions and insights on human rights with its products, the countries involved, and the responses to emerging crises. This 83-page report addressed events and claims from 2020 and 2021, and the tone of the content is mostly one of self-congratulation, as it summarizes and defends Meta's defamation strategy without addressing claims of biased content filtering. However, they have failed to implement adequate measures against hate speech in the US, as well as in nations like Myanmar, where Facebook has been used to incite violence against minorities. Regulators and civil rights organizations seem to have evidence regarding Meta's business methods that have contributed to these digital hazards. The report claimed that internal research was done, and through this research, it was found that a majority of people do join extremist organizations to find faults in the company's recommendation algorithms. In a statement given by Miranda Sissons, Meta's director of human rights, who joined the firm 3 years ago, she said that Meta has offered new insights on human rights. Meta has implemented regulations to combat health disinformation and new implicit dangers, therefore claiming to have balanced freedom of expression with security. However, it fails to claim the solution to the actions that happened during the Myanmar and India political feud over content moderation by saying Meta does not intend to make the full assessment public. In a summary noted by Foley Hogue, he suggests that Meta's platforms may be linked to major human rights problems caused by third parties, such as promotion of hatred that incites enmity, discrimination, or violence. Meanwhile, human rights groups accuse Meta of squeezing the evaluation scope and delaying its completion. The company says it is considering the recommendations but hasn't yet committed to putting them into action. The report also stays clear of discussing the metaverse's consequences, which are an increasingly contentious area when it comes to human rights. As Meta steers its way into the metaverse, which is the brand's collection of social virtual reality experiences, the company is making sure that this experience will be implemented across all of Meta's products. But the company must be well aware of issues that may lead to harassment and illicit remarks. A few other concerns from other human rights groups have also stated that Meta has failed to notice that the report does not include rights on safeguarding content for kids or a reporting system that encourages repeat offenders. Meta, privacy or the metaverse. If Facebook's AI algorithm was somehow altered, these issues wouldn't have surfaced. But we cannot deny that it does direct users to extreme material. This is why many critics of this social platform have made claims that the social network prioritizes profits over users. Facebook whistleblower Frances Haugen has issued a fresh warning about Meta and the metaverse. Haugen claimed in an interview with the Associated Press that virtual reality may give Facebook even another online monopoly, be addicting, and collect even more user data. Facebook's recent promotion of the metaverse, according to Haugen, is only a front behind which the company may hide until its legal problems are resolved. If you don't like the subject, you change the conversation, she said. But according to Meta, the story seems to be narrated pretty differently. The company stated that the metaverse would be created ethically. The company also claims that not even a single corporation would be able to create the metaverse overnight. Instead, to make it a reality, the company would have to work with industry partners, legislators, and experts. To make sure that technologies are developed in a way that's inclusive and empowering, the company will try to incorporate the human rights and civil rights groups from the beginning. The business mentioned a $50 million investment in international research and program partners as another measure to guarantee goods are created ethically. But even then, when you think about what Haugen warned us regarding the potential privacy problems, no one is quite sure that Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Meta, can handle this. According to Haugen, the metaverse will need to place many more sensors in homes and workplaces, which are obviously private and personal spaces. These could also become very addicting and encourage individuals to disconnect from the world in which we really live. But she isn't wrong here, of course. And it is true that the metaverse will have an influence on the data collection and privacy of individuals. Everyone would agree that their personal information should be kept private. In the Human Rights Report, Meta also made the following statement. Users should have transparency and control over their data. The amount of data used will be kept to a minimum while we develop technology that would enable privacy-protective data uses. Meta's Horizon workrooms are just the start of making the metaverse a reality. It is a virtual conference tool that uses immersive mixed reality to hold business meetings, and this is also a key component of Facebook's metaverse concept. Additionally, this might be a privacy nightmare, as it may lead companies to push their employees to either adopt the new working ethos or risk losing their employment. There is no doubt that by using Horizon workrooms, you have to give your company and other third-party companies control over more personal information. A fellow tech analyst and CEO of Solidatus, Philip Dutton, who works for a technology company that focuses on data privacy, stated that AI and machine learning allow businesses like Meta, Facebook, the potential to amass massive quantities of data that impact every part of our lives. Because of this, he claims, regulators and the general public are demanding openness so they can be certain that their data is being utilized and secured responsibly. However, Meta is targeting younger customers, preferably the Gen Z, and this may or may not be a good idea in terms of privacy and content filtration. With Facebook's poor image on trust, would anyone allow their kids to use the platform? In a TV show that spreads information on cyber talks, Zach Doffman said that if Facebook is using the metaverse to construct a virtual environment, he would not want to allow his kids to access content that may not be suitable for them. He literally said that his children shouldn't be on it. People need to feel secure in the metaverse, and since they don't feel that Facebook is safe, that will be its biggest problem. It's a complicated and worrying problem, but happily, the metaverse won't be created overnight. To resemble the concept outlined by Meta and others, it will take 10 to 15 years. But in the meantime, individuals must recognize Meta for what it is, a new moniker for Facebook, which, as we all know, has a doubtful privacy record. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Let us know your thoughts about Meta's first human rights report in the comment section below. If you liked this video, then show your appreciation by clicking on the like and share buttons. Also, if you want to keep viewing content like this, you can always hit the bell icon. That way, you'll be notified of every video update. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you at the next one.